529, do you have 529?
That's what I got too, yeah. Everybody's anxious. I always stand up.
I think it's that clock that confuses me.
Everybody's like anxious. Ready to go. Five seconds, Mayor.
5 seconds. The chair will call the June 4th, 2024 meeting of the City Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Lesko, can you please call the roll?
Will do. Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Notriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Connolly.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mayor Busher.
Present.
Mayor Busher, a quorum is present.
Thank you, Clerk. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. We do have a presentation this evening, so at this time I'm going to ask that Amber Sabin from City Water, Light, and Power come up, along with Ed Cabau, who is with the he's the director of the State Association Services and Communications for IMUA Scholarship. So I'm going to have them both come up for a minute here. It looks like Chief Utility Engineer Doug Brown's coming as well. I'll let you do your presentation first, Ed.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mayor Busher, members of the Springfield City Council. Appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening to recognize an outstanding Springfield resident, a recent graduate of Riverton High School, Isaac Crumrine. He is with his parents today. I'd like to ask Isaac to come forward, and his parents too, Dan and Carrie Crumrine. Isaac wrote a very well-researched, very well-written essay as one of the 32 entrants in our scholarship program this year. We've done this since year 2000. Isaac chose the topic of the benefits of public power, and it was very well written. I was on the 6-member judging panel. I was one of the 6 who voted in favor of it. On top of that, he represents our 8th winner from the city of Springfield. So I understand you're choosing the University of Oklahoma this fall. So without further ado, I would like to present Isaac with his scholarship award, framed certificate. Congratulations on behalf of both the IMUA. And more importantly, I'm proud to present you with a $1,000 award check from IMUA. And on behalf of both the association, Doug Brown, who is on our board, and Amber Sabin, who had been chair, still is unofficial on our chair. I do want to thank you and recognize and wish you good luck too. So how about one last round of applause for you? Doug and Dan, Carrie, if you don't mind. Okay, Mayor.
Pictures.
If you don't mind.
Does Isaac want to make any comments?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
He's like, no.
My nature.
I would like to thank the City Council. I would like to thank Ed and Amber for everything that they've put into this and selecting me and believing in me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Amber. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Isaac. Good job, Eddie. Eddie.
Good job, Ed.
Eddie.
Make the North
Good
End
job,
proud,
brother.
buddy.
Always. on the north end.
That's right.
That's right.
Attaboy, Ed.
Thank you, bro. He's a good guy.
Thank you, Nicole. The chair will entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the May 21st, 2024 City Council meeting and approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council first reading of ordinances into the record of this council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carries. The chair will now entertain a motion to place the consent agenda on final passage.
So move.
Second.
We have a
I-
motion and a second. Do you want to,
I have to need to pull something off.
of consent?
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion to pull ordinance 2024-199 onto the debate agenda because we have someone here to speak to that.
Second.
Okay, so the chair will now entertain a motion to not put the entire consent agenda on final passage, but to remove item 2024-199. So Alderwoman Notriano made a first, Alderman Conley made a second to pull that item. All those in favor of pulling that item and putting it on the debate agenda, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. So now there will be a motion to put the entire consent agenda on final passage.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion further? Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderman Williams, how do you vote?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm with you.
All right, so the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the, agenda items 2024-089 and 2024-178 remain tabled or in committee. Any action on those needed? Okay, seeing none. The next item on the agenda is item number 2024-183, an ordinance approving a professional services agreement with Hanson Professional Services Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $145,500 for data collection and investigation activities regarding the Lakeside and Dahlman Ash Ponds pre-closure data collection project and authorizing the use from the Environmental and Regulatory Initiatives and Rebate Fund, ERIRF, for the Office of Public Utilities. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2024-183 on final passage.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and it appears Alderman Williams has signed up to speak. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Is the director available? Director Brown? I just had a few questions. I had put this on debate last week just to get some understanding of what's going on because these ponds are in Ward 3, and I'm on a learning curve with a lot of this. But the funding source, I did some reading on it and try to understand, and it's for environmental and regulatory type things that you guys do, but it also could be used for rebates depending on the mayor's lead and the city council. So I did want to know how much is in this account.
Oh, it's 16.2 million right now.
Okay, 16.2 million, and I know we did the thing with the lawyer, now we're doing this study, but do we ever do rebates?
Yeah, under COVID, there was some rebates that were given out during that time frame.
And we use this fund for that?
Yes.
Okay, and the second thing, on capping, so in capping these particular ash ponds, would it guarantee that it wouldn't leak underneath? Like, would it prevent the groundwater from seeping back into the ash from underneath? I know on top, it could stop the rainfall and all that, and that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So basically, from what I can remember, and Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was about 2 years difference between capping it in place versus removing it all, as far as the groundwater returning to normal. So there was about 2 additional years that it took for capping in place. But the overall, basically, environmental damage from removing it all was, I would say that there was less environmental damage by capping it in place overall for an all environment, right? Is that a good
And
assessment?
I don't disagree with you. I just think he was given a kind of a specific question about groundwater from the bottom as well as the
bottom,
rainwater
yes.
from the top, which I don't know that we talked too much about at the time, but our position is that once, part of this ordinance is to get the water out that's in there now, just to begin studying the dewatering, which is something that came up in the public meetings that we hadn't investigated about what would be involved with dewatering. So once you remove the water that's there now, we believe there'll be a separation between the ash and the groundwater, that it won't come up from the bottom.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Once it's capped and once that's done, yes.
So from reading and trying to understand this, there was two ways, options that this could be done. One was the very expensive trucking it all out and costing a lot more money than doing this cement cap that we're trying to do. Did a previous council, or has the council already approved that you're going to cap, or is this ordinance doing that?
No, this ordinance isn't actually approving that we're capping in place. This is basically doing some borings and wells and more of data monitoring, analysis, that kind of thing. So this isn't actually physically capping anything with this work.
So you guys will be coming back with us
Correct.
with results from what they find out, and then at a later council date, will be actually approved.
There would be another contract that we'd have to come forward with actual design work of the cap, the final design work
Thank
for
you.
that, yes.
Thank you.
Alderman Gregory.
Just real quick, thank you for those questions. Actually, Alderman Williams, that answered a lot of mine. But I will say, so is the regulation that we must take out all the water in that? Like, is that the regulation? I think that was one of the topics.
Answer that question.
Before we do that, and I will say, in the body of the ordinance, it is spelled out 1 through 6 beautifully as far as what this first part is. The second part does trouble me a little bit. It looks like we are preparing to try to cap in place, which I tend to be in agreement with, but it's something about the water and taking it all out and is that the regulation?
To kind of go backwards a little bit for everyone, we had those public meetings way back in 2021. And then we submitted the permit requesting that our plan to cap it be approved, and we're still waiting. We're still working with the agencies about answering questions about all that. So first, we'd have to get approval to do it. It's a really gray area, this issue. Obviously, you have to, when you do a cap, prevent any water from leaching in. How you handle, and then, of course, even just to be able to do that, you have to drain all the water that's on top. So this issue about the water that's sort of saturating the ash now, and before we cut it off, is definitely an area where there's like a lot of litigation and a lot of new guidance is coming out. So it's a little vague, but that's part of why we're bringing in Hanson, because they've done a lot of these. They're going to look at all the requirements and say, here's what you need to do to meet the requirements. There's even a brand-new guidance that just came out a couple weeks ago.
Thank
So
you.
they're going to look at that.
I appreciate it, and for me, part of my, one of my main things will, when we do come back to make that decision is, if the regulation is clear that we must take it all out, or the process that you just described. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yeah.
Alderman Hanauer.
And, okay, so right now, with what we have in the environmental fund, we approximately, when we go to cap, we believe we got enough money to pay for that out of the environmental fund. So
Right.
it would not cost the ratepayers any additional
Correct.
funds.
Yes.
What about if we have to haul it out? What's the estimated cost? Around 250 million?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly for sure, but we're definitely estimating it's well over 200 million, 250 million range.
And-
For that, it just depends that what landfills we fill up with ash, because like if we filled up all of Sangamon County, it's not just the impact to us, but basically be the impact to the county, like all the citizens in the county that would not have a landfill to use anymore.
And so we would have $250 million, let's say, let's let's just say we use 25 million, so we'd have 225 million that we'd have to hit our ratepayers for.
Yes.
Approximately what is that per ratepayer?
I don't have that
We'd
off
have
the
to
top of my
figure
head,
that out.
but yeah, we could.
It'd be
figure
a lot
something.
more than,
It would be,
it'd be a lot more than the water rate increase, wouldn't it?
yeah, probably, yes.
Well, I think that it's important that we push for this capping, because, number one, I don't think anyone up here would want a truck with that ash going by their house. And I believe I was told that in order to meet the deadlines that EPA has imposed on it, is it like a truck every 7 minutes has to come out of the ash pond, or is that timeline changed?
I can't recall exact numbers, but there is a high frequency of trucks, yes.
So,
And like, during the public hearing process that we did, the studies that we've done to date showed that it's less environmentally damaging overall to just cap it in place. And the end result, again, it's basically, groundwater returns to normal within 2 years of each other for either option. So if we want to choose the option that's the least impact to our customers, and we get the result in the end of what we want for the environment.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Alderwoman Conley.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, Doug. Just real quickly, what's the timeline for Hanson's work, and when would we expect to get reports back from the new wells that they're drilling? Do you know?
Do you have a timeline? I don't have that information here.
So we'll TBD. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is item number 2024-197, an ordinance approving the reappointment of Mitchell L. Mordock to the Oak Ridge Cemetery Board of Trustees. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda item number 2024-197 on final passage.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is item number 2024-198, an ordinance approving the appointment of Craig Colebrook to the Civil Service Commission. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda item number 2024-198 on final passage.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll have discussion. And Mr. Colebrook is here. If I could ask you to come up and introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Excuse me. My name is Craig Colebrook. I'm very seriously flattered to be considered for a position on the Civil Service Commission. I've reached out to several of you over the last couple of weeks to introduce myself, to answer any questions you may have had. I'm really glad that none of you had questions. It made my life a lot easier. If there's any questions now, I'm happy to take them, but I hope I can count on your support in this, and I look forward to serving. I have a background in employment and labor law, and I think it'll be put to good use on the commission. So, thank you.
Thanks for serving.
Yes, we're grateful that you're serving, so. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. Thank you again, Mr. Colebrook. I appreciate it. The next item on the agenda, excuse me, is an ordinance amending Chapter 110 of the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended, pertaining to massage establishments. The chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Time for discussion. Do any alderpersons have discussion before we bring citizens up?
I just want to be clear, that motion was to adopt. I didn't say, not just for discussion, thank you.
Got it. Seeing none, then we have one citizen who signed up in advance to speak on the subject. Would David Baker please like to come up to the podium? And Mr. Baker, if you could state your name and address for the record, that would be great. Thank you.
Yes, my name is David Baker. I live at 1613 South Holmes Avenue. And here to make, three points. I think I'll take about 3 minutes, so it shouldn't take too long. Please, pass ordinance 2024-199, and it looks like that's going to happen, as a first step to shutting down what I refer to as bogus massage parlors. And then secondly, there are other steps that I think need to be done. And then thirdly, the young women at these parlors are victims and may need help. My wife and I are residents of the Hawthorne Place neighborhood and have been since our older son was in kindergarten. And I'm an officer with the neighborhood association, and most of what I'm going to say are things that everyone supports. Toward the end, I'll talk a little more personally. We are very concerned about having two bogus massage parlors in our neighborhood and another one a couple hundred feet from Butler Elementary School, where many of the children from our neighborhood walk to. We personally, my wife and I, no longer have children at home, but we do have grandchildren that play in the neighborhood and on the playground at Butler. So again, we urge the council to pass the ordinance. And we believe that it's a first step in shutting down these illegitimate establishments. A couple things that we think may need to be looked at down the road is that the $25 fine for violations is quite small. And we believe that zoning changes may be needed to make sure such establishments are not allowed in residential areas or near schools. We believe that the system can work to shut these kind of places down. But I would also urge that the young women who are trapped working in the parlors receive help. They are victims. My own daughter was a victim of sexual trafficking as a troubled teenager. She ultimately cooperated with the police and state's attorney to help put the trafficker in prison for 20 years. And there were many people that helped her. There were Springfield police detectives, an assistant state's attorney, the local FBI agent, the FBI's victim specialist, the Child Advocacy Center, and a group called Grounds of Grace. They saved her life and helped her get into a program that helped girls and young women who survived similar situations. Strangely, some of the women in her program, and I think this applies perhaps to some of the women working in these massage parlors, they don't always realize that they're victims. They've made some decisions that help contribute to their problem. But I'm pretty sure that the women that work there did not expect that, the decisions that led them to come to America would lead them to work in such establishments. I hope that the system treats them as the victims they are and finds a way to help them as they help my daughter. And that means the police, state's attorney, the city, FBI, advocacy groups working together. And then finally, just by the way, my daughter, thanks in part to them working together, is doing well, married to a man in armed services, and has a 2-year-old and another on the way, and now works with children on the autism spectrum. And she refers to herself as a survivor. And so please pass this ordinance and look at it and consider additional steps to shut down these establishments. And don't forget that the workers in them may be victims. Thank you.
And Mr. Baker, just for a clarification, it's
Yes.
$25 for them to register, but I'll let Corporation Counsel speak to the fine because it's greater than that.
Okay. Yeah, good.
So just to clarify, the fine is $250 to $750 per violation. Each violation is a per day violation. So that means it's $250 to $750 per day of operating without a license. In addition to that, we have the ability to prohibit occupancy of any building that is being used in violation of this ordinance. So not only can we fine them, we can immediately prohibit individuals from residing or being in those buildings, which is even stronger than our zoning code currently allows. So we are taking steps to have a high penalty for violating this ordinance.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Does anyone on the council have discussion on this ordinance?
I would just like to,
Alderwoman Notriano?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, David, for coming and sharing your story. It means a lot.
Alderwoman Conley.
I would just like to echo that. David, thank you so much for coming in and for speaking on behalf of the real victims of these establishments, which are the women who were being trafficked and held in ways that are just truly inhumane. I am glad we cleared up I was confused when you said $25. I was like, oh, no, I think it's much more than that. And I also, I will say, in Corporation Council, we had a quick conversation about this. There are, the city will also be working with, this is a new industry for us to regulate, so there will be outreach and education and to make sure that, because there are legitimate massage parlors in place that will be coming into compliance with this. So we want to make sure that those people are given, the ability to comply, and then those that choose not to face some very significant fines, because this is something that we take very seriously. But again, thank you for speaking of the victims. That's very touching. I mean, thank you.
Alderman Gregory.
Thank you, Mayor. Corporation Council, there was some correspondence that was sent to us with a example of an ordinance that was passed in another city. Can you take a look at that? And if there's anything in that may help us strengthen, our ordinance and reduce that to writing and circulate that to us. So we, if need be, to make amendments to make it even stronger, we could do that in the future. Thank you.
I can do that, and that ordinance was consulted in the creation of this one.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no.
You've got somebody there,
Oh.
Mayor, that's got their hand up.
You wanted to speak on this discussion? Okay.
I would like to speak on this topic, please.
Okay. I will allow it, but normally we have people speak at the end of the meeting who haven't signed up.
In a public meeting, there is no law requiring to sign up to speak.
There is here.
Well,
Are you above the Constitution here?
well, I'm gonna stop this right now. And what I'm going to say is we allow individuals to speak on specific ordinances if they've signed up pursuant to our city council rules of procedures. If not, we have public comment at the end of the meeting.
I'll be happy to wait, that's no problem.
As the mayor, I'll let you come to the podium, sir. You'll have 5 minutes.
I'll be happy to wait, Mayor.
It's
I
okay.
have no problem. I am an easy man to work with you all. I'm happy to wait
I'm
till the very
I'm
end.
offering you to please come up so we can take our vote. You'll have 5 minutes, and please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name's Mike Otkin. I live at 86 Dawn Drive. I've been born and raised in this town. I've lived all over this country throughout my entire life. I'm a hardworking man. I'm a contractor and I'm a carpenter. As a man, we have to work for a living. We are not given tie jobs every time. We do not get the honor of sitting back and watching others work all the time. I was recently informed that the city has decided that they think that they want to impose more restrictions and hurdles for anybody coming into America just to open a business. And I find it disgusting that everybody here is more than willing to do the word salad that everybody plays, that they say, oh, these women are victims. Okay, I'm going to tell you all right now, I'm married to a Chinese massage. My wife came here, she was raped in this town with another woman working with her, was tied up against her will, and raped, both of them, and robbed. I had to travel for a year to see my wife in a different city. I finally convinced her to come back here. She worked here for less than 1 month of opening the massage store, and she was raped again. And I was told by your local police that was my fault for not having 2 people there. So, when I hear people say that these women are victims, the only victims they are of society and lack of parenting. I find it disgusting that everybody wants to say that they're all doing something bad. I have 2 nieces that are working here, they've had massage stores for 9+ years and never had a problem. If I'll equate it to you all like this. In construction, do I enjoy watching somebody from Mexico come here and take a job that I could easily work? No. But can I stop it? Absolutely not. And you know why? Because a gentleman was nice enough to explain it to me before, that if I could go 1,000 miles and work 1 month and make what I made here for a whole year, guess what? I'm going to do what it takes to feed my family. And everybody else in the world does that also. We wonder why the border's exploding? Well, that's why. So when people come here and say we need to enact more rules and more regulations, that is not the answer. What we need to do is be more active about trying to actually solve crimes after they happen. We're not here to fix things before they become a problem. They're not a problem until something has happened. So it amazes me that everybody here wants to, yes, let's do this, and that's fine. What are you going to do about 90% of these massage stores that you are all talking about here in town? They are not in city property. They're county or city or Southern View or Jerome. You can't touch those. So what good have you done? You've ran people not to have a business in this town. Honestly. So I would like you to think about that, and about each time you pass laws and rules, you are degrading people from wanting to start a business in this town. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, Ms. Busher. I appreciate your time and your patience.
Alderwoman Conley?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to respond to a little bit of this, first of all, because as I mentioned earlier, I did have someone reach out about a massage parlor that they've been going to for years with, and no complaints, and wanting to know how will this process work for businesses that are legitimately doing and providing a very qualified and necessary service. And that's why we talked about the city will be doing outreach and support. It's a $25 registration fee. That is not a high fee. That should not present a hurdle. But I just want you to understand, because you had your chance to speak, I just want to give you, I do hope, and I think that this needs to be made very clear, that this is not an ordinance taking a swing at anyone of any nationality.
It is.
It is not.
It is.
No, because we do not mention nationality. This is not gender specific. It's none of that. It is industry specific. And we had a federal investigation in this community that did uncover a significant amount of crime going on in our community, and this is our response to that. The registration is for local purposes. All masseuses, there are state requirements that for licensure of someone who gives massages. There are state standards for that. And we are just ensuring that the business establishments in our community, we know who they are, we know where they are, and we know that they're registered they're properly registered with the state of Illinois. But this is absolutely in no way, shape, or form, it's not directed directly at women, it's not directed at any nationality, but it is an important step for us to take because, as you pointed out, there are crimes that occur with these establishments, and we are here to protect both the clients, but also especially the women who work there and the men who work there, but it is primarily the women. So thank you, Mayor.
Alderwoman Notriano?
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to reiterate everything Alderwoman Conley said, and also say that there is no new regulation, really. This is already state law. If you practice massage, you have to be licensed by the state of Illinois, or you have to have a approved exemption from the state of Illinois. So hopefully those who have been practicing outside of the law and who are legitimate can do the work necessary to come into compliance. This is ultimately to make everyone safer. People who do massage, people who go in for massages, and of course the neighborhoods where the massage establishments exist. So thank you.
Any other discussion from the council? Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. Is there any unfinished business to come before the city council? Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to take a moment to thank our police department, Deputy Chief Muma. Sunday night around maybe 12:15, 12:30. I just so happened to be at my grandma's house on Reynolds. And we had a good showing of officers that came in a united front. It was about 14 officers. That block party had a couple hundred individuals out there. And I just commend you all and take my hat off because I heard a level of profanity that I know as a kid my parents wouldn't have tolerated, calling officers out their names to their faces and listening to that. And everybody stayed calm and was writing tickets, and the individuals left within 5 minutes. So I know they headed down to 13th and Edwards, but you guys got them out of there very quickly, and what you did really spoke value to the neighbors that was over there. So thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman Purchase. Alderman Rockford.
I don't know if this is old business, new business, but I had a question. We have a few council members that sit on a housing committee, and, excuse me, and speaking with Alderman Gregory, my question was, is there minutes that are taking in, I don't know how often you meet, but is there minutes that are taking and discussion that we could have pertaining to what we're doing or what we're talking about, or, excuse me.
I'm putting together a summary of that, but it's going on through attorney-client privilege, so I'm happy to talk about that with you.
Okay.
And the summary we can make public when it's completed, but I'm not prepared to speak on that in public at this time.
Okay, I'm asking. I know we've talked about these committees that we all sit on, but I don't ever hear any discussion to, so, again, we're council, we're a unit of 10, so I think the discussion should happen amongst 10, so, thank you.
If it happens amongst 10, we have to publish it as an open meeting.
Okay.
And I do want to ask the council to remember
But
that
I don't know how these committees are formed, or.
3 or more of you meet, it is more than 3 is a violation of open meetings.
Yes, I understand that, but we sit on these committees, but who's asked to be on a committee?
I didn't form it, so not.
No, that's my question. I'm not.
It's not my committee.
Not pertaining to the question to you. I'm asking, do we get with one another and, excuse me, but do you decide who we want and handpick who we want?
You would have to ask the members of that
Okay.
committee, sir. Alderman Gregory's on,
Thank
you
you.
can ask him.
Thank you, Mayor. Ron, I appreciate the question. I can tell you, without going into details, as Murdoch said, but we have spoke on presenting a summary to the council with some different recommendations. We did talk about putting together a housing committee some time ago, and it felt like everybody was comfortable with myself, Alderwoman Purchase, and Alderwoman Conley. I will say, and I think I've said it before, I think we have a little bit of everything on this committee to make some good recommendations, from a renter to a landlord and a former landlord. And I can tell you that many of the things that we have looked at, we want to cross-reference with Public Works to make sure we're not duplicating things. And it has taken some time. We did have to take a break during budget season. It was a busy time, and we did take a break in that. And trust me, we know that this is a big topic. I can tell you for sure, I know it's a big topic. And I know my colleague, he stays on me about when we're going to do something and come with something and try to strengthen it up. I will say that we are looking at everything and really trying to come with some good things and recommendations from this committee to show that we have been working at it and trying to really help the city move forward in this particular section. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, can I respond to that, Mayor, please?
Yes, sir.
No, and it's not a questioning whether you're doing it or not. Maybe I have concerns that I'd like to share with you, or the council or corporation council. I mean, but if you don't know about it, you don't know what's going on, what's the committee for? Thank you.
Yes, sir. So we're still on unfinished business. Alderman Gregory, you had clicked, but you're off. Do you have anything for unfinished business or no?
I'll let my colleagues speak, and I'm sure some of these things will relate to what we spoke on, and then I'll come back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alderman Williams, unfinished business?
No, this is in response to the unfinished business that they started. So this committee, there's no timeline, Mayor. That's my problem with this.
I didn't inform you.
I know
can't
it's
be
not you, well,
responsible.
to the committee. You guys, you're busy, but I felt the committee was even just brought up just to be I always say the word delayed process, which they don't like, but I've been saying we need to do something about the areas that they're supposed to be meeting about. We get citizens that constantly come up and talk about all these houses, these lots, and these situations, and they took it upon themselves. We're going to meet and we're going to come up with something. Where's the recommendation? When you going to be finished? Are you the chairman? Well, when you going to be finished with meeting? And we're going to come up something, and if you would please explain this client privilege thing you keep quoting when we want information. What is it? What are you saying?
It means that, so the conversations that we've been having in our committee is privileged discussion because it's attorney-client privilege. So they come with recommendations. We've discussed things. I'm happy to discuss them with you. If I were to say it now, then we would lose the privilege, and we would have to disclose those conversations publicly. So, and Alderman Gregory is being kind, but he's been on me to get him the draft recommendations. He sent me a couple emails to do it. There are also items that we've been able to implement without ordinances that's been discussed with the council, and I'm happy to share that as well. But I need to put that together for this council.
Well, so I'm going to say this to you. He's on you because I'm on him. So I just want us to move. This is important. It's been important. People's proud to be on this committee. And then, yeah, we knew the budget was going to come up when we formed the committee. Things are going to come up, but either you're going to do it or you ain't. We need to put a timeline on this committee, or you or whoever's holding it up, so that we can get it done, or else we're not being transparent. We're just talking amongst each other, and all these months are going by, and people are still suffering, living across just disastrous situations, and next door disastrous situations. We can't just keep meeting. We have to get on that committee because we're going to get it done. And it shouldn't always be in this secretive whatever. Bring it out, let's vote on it, and get it in action.
Point of information. I just want to make it clear.
Alderman Gregory.
Alderman, I would love to talk to all 10 people, but we can't do it like that. So this committee is a way that we can talk about city business and try to have some recommendations, and then we want to make sure that we present those recommendations to the administration, and then we all come out here and talk about it. If anybody got any suggestions, send them to Murdoch and Public Works at ASAP, if you would like. But I will tell you some of the things and some of the hurdles that we face are not easy things. Some of the questions that you guys have asked are not easy things. Some of the ordinances that we may have on the books may or may not work. So taking time to review all of that is real. You know what I'm saying? And then how we attack it and how we change things. And make the recommendations. So I hear you. I'm with you. I'm frustrated with you. As an alderman who represents the ward who goes through this the most, I can guarantee you I send many emails. I would challenge anybody to what we have. I understand, Alderman. I get you. And I understand your frustration and Larry, Alderman Rockford, and I'm not speaking for my other committee members.
So if you understand,
I'm just speaking on it because I know for sure what you're dealing with.
What's the deadline? When are you guys going to be finished and come with the recommendations?
As soon as we can. I promise you that. As soon as Murdoch can
what does that mean, Murdoch? As soon as what does that mean? I really think we got to put a deadline on this.
Are you putting deadlines on?
So Alderwoman Conley, did you sign up to speak to this subject?
Yes, I did.
All right, then I'm going to call on you.
Okay, thank you. I will just say, first of all, Alderman Williams, yes, we do need to get things moving along. I will point out originally when I brought this up as another standing committee, and Alderman Rockford, I wanted something similar to what we have for CWLP, which Alderman Redpath and I have talked about, we're scheduling a meeting for that, but another committee of the whole. So this committee of the whole addresses issues where, like at other elected bodies, they break things out like much more than we do. We discuss everything all together normally. I would have preferred that we have this discussion in that manner.
Agreed.
But at the time, this council decided it would be better to have this as a smaller group setting. I think it would
I don't
have.
think the council decided, I think the group just made their own group.
I don't know how we
I'm gonna
decided
interrupt
it.
you
It was
'cause
not,
I was not consulted.
I would have preferred it had been another committee of the whole. But that said, we are working on issues. I do think that Corporation Council has a good handle on what those topics are. Some of this has just been, I mean, to be quite honest, we just had an email today, hey, when can everyone get scheduled to come in? And I think we'll try to do that for this week if we can. And if at a certain point, if I have to call in, I'll call into a meeting. But I think we really are ready to bring some preliminary recommendations. I will tell you, there are bigger issues, and I think that this is something, and Alderman Williams, you've done a great job at this. We keep these issues front and center. I will say I've learned more over the course since we started this process, not just from our internal conversations, but organizations like ICON that have held some public outreach around different concepts around public works. I think there's definitely been additional new information and that have come, just that have been available to anyone who wanted to go to those meetings. I know, Alderman Gregory, you were at the one ICON, I think Alderman Notriano. So, yeah, we need to have something soon. And then I think that we as a group in a full committee of the whole need to really dig into stuff and probably start laying out the next steps for where we want to go on public works issues and housing issues. Because we do have more work to do. Absolutely.
Thank you. Alderman Donlin signed up to speak on the same subject.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I've patiently been waiting my turn. This is an extremely important topic, needless to say. And I, and I'm sure others that weren't a part of this working group, have many things to add and ways to provide some teeth to whether it's housing violations or what have you. But just a point of clarification, your working group is not a committee.
Right, it's a
There is a,
group,
so we
yep.
got to be careful about the words we use, because
you.
if we formed a actual committee, there would be Open Meetings Act requirements that would apply. This is a meeting of 3 aldermen, which is permitted by the code and permitted by the statute. And they've been meeting amongst themselves, and I encourage us all to do that per the Open Meetings Act and within the guidelines. Anxiously awaiting anything you come up with, but the way I see it is that is just a starting point. No offense to anybody, but what comes before the committee of the whole and the council is what's ultimately going to be discussed publicly with opportunities for the public to have input. And we need to get something passed, and we need to make some changes, no doubt. But we got to do it the right way, and I know we are doing it the right way. I just wanted to provide the clarification. Using the word committee, though, is really not the proper word to use. It's a working group amongst 3 aldermen, all permitted per the Open Meetings Act. And we've spoken offline about some ideas, and we're certainly permitted to do that. But it is, Alderman Williams, you're right. We got to make some changes, and we got to do some things a little differently. And I think if we do that together in an open meeting, ultimately, we'll make things better for the city, because that's all of our goals. Thank you.
Alderman Hanna, are you speaking on the same subject?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
It's about housing.
Okay.
It's about, I don't remember if we discussed this, it ever, up here, I don't remember us discussing putting together any type of working group or anything. I don't know, maybe. But today I did reach out to Corporation Council, because we have got a serious problem with lawns in this town, with some of the high grass, and it's in every ward. And I've asked Corporation Council to, I guess it's okay to talk about it, right? I'm not going to hide anything from anybody. I've asked Corporation Council to treat the high grass like a parking ticket. where when our people go out to inspect it, they get a call about tall grass. They go out, they take a stick with 11 inches marked on it. They take a picture of the stick. They come in, we write them a ticket for, I'm not sure what the ordinance violation is, but I'd be willing to raise it. And they get a ticket. Now, they can come into admin court and they can fight it, but guess what? It's like I look at it like when they come in for parking. You're either guilty or you're not. And we got people that play games every year, and we all know who they are in our ward, where, first of all, they will not mow until we cite them. And sometimes that's not until end of May. And then they'll go and try to knock it down. And then, they'll wait, they do a, garbage job on actually mowing. They just run the lawnmower over it trying to knock the weeds down. And then we cite them again, and they got another week, nothing happens. In the meantime, we're sending our people out there. We got to start charging these guys. It's ridiculous that we're letting them get away with this. We got some people that have large lots that they do it on purpose, so they only have to cut it 3 times a year. In the meantime, the neighborhoods around there are screaming bloody murder. We all get it, and it's time that it stops. And I think that we treat it like a parking ticket. If they're guilty, they're guilty. They pay the dang fine, and they still have to mow. And we also treat them like we do have a nuisance property. And I think the fine is $1,000 if you get called in 3 times. Well, we got to start using it, because everybody knows in spring that the grass grows and they got to cut the grass. Because I guarantee you at their house they're cutting the grass. And we got to end this. We got to end this cycle. And if people have a broken lawnmower, they need to call somebody, get a kid or something to come and mow, because this is absolutely ridiculous. And it'll cut down a lot of calls that we get from neighborhoods. So I'm looking forward to Corporation Council coming back with something on that. And, I would like to get that as soon as possible. And if we have to make an ordinance change, I'd like to request an emergency passage, and let's get this thing going. So thank you.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you. Alderman Hanauer, you just made a perfect point when you said we got to start using the $1,000 fine. So a little bit of our issue we had was Corporation Council just wanted to look at what's on the books, what has been sitting on the shelf for the longest before we start creating all these new ordinances, but may not be using our ordinances we've had for over a decade. So I think that was a little bit of what was the holdup. And then Alderman Williams, I wasn't going to say nothing, but you're asking for a timeline, and we have other groups that meet, like the CWLP. And how this started was I brought an ordinance forward, and I think we spent 45 minutes on that topic that night. And I decided to remove it, and it was Alderman Redpath who said, well, can y'all get amongst each other and work on some stuff and bring it back to us? So that's how it came about, where we were sitting together and starting to talk about this. But I think it's okay, too, if you do got some questions, to just ask us, too, and say how y'all doing on this or what's going on. And that's one of the things that came up, is that we have so many ordinances in place that may not be getting used, and we wanted to afford the opportunity for Corporation Council and Public Works to speak with each other. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Williams.
So, I'm
Alderman
sorry.
Williams.
My bad.
Did you change your name? Do I have a new Alderman in Ward 4?
I will.
I mean, it's this ball here, not yours, So, what I would say, it's not that I'm mad at the committee, but I predicted it. I said, they're not going to do nothing, but just, you want me to give y'all the timeline when this started? And it didn't start when she said the issue existed months and months before she decided to come up and try to fix it. And then look how much more time has went by. So that's why I use terms that it's not the best terms of, oh, delayed tactics, this and that. They're scared of somebody. I don't know why they don't want to fix this problem, but I think the mayor ought to put a timeline, or somebody ought to put a time. Me, Rock, and Hanauer can get together and fix it, and we won't need all that time. And we'll come back with y'all with recommendations, and then we'll just end up doing something. Because y'all just talking to be talking and making it hard. And I just think it's not that hard. Those properties are horrible. It's really easy what you got to do and don't combine everything. Don't put the lots with the abandoned homes and the missing land. Just, even if you piecemeal it, we got to start showing some improvement. That's all I'm saying, Mayor, and I just feel like there should be a timeline when they come back and say they're ready, corporate counsel, instead of letting all this time go by. We're summer now, and then the end of summer, and then because y'all ain't got the time. If you ain't got the time, get off the working group. Just get off of it if you ain't got the time, and let somebody who does have the time spend the time getting it done. Thank you.
Alderman Rockford.
Yeah, and Ralph, my whole point, when I ran for this office, this is one of the problems that we were having. This just didn't happen overnight, and we talked about this many, many times. So again, there's plenty of ordinances. This isn't something new. This has been going on for many, many years, way before you. So, except for Chuck. So anyway, but I'm just saying, it's nothing new. So we're just talking about the same problems over and over again. It's time that we do something. We formed this working group. My question is, do we have minutes? Do we have discussion? That was the start of this whole topic. So again, we've been talking about this for many, many years. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
The most senior person on the council would like to speak, Alderman Redpath.
You gotta keep bringing it up, don't you, Mayor?
I think you've served longer than anyone else up here, so that would make
That's
you the
true.
most senior.
Combined.
That's true, too. Now I forgot what I was going to say, Ralph. Here's the thing. The thing is we can have committees, we can have working groups, we can do anything we want and talk about anything we want as long as we stay in compliance with the law. As long as we don't violate the Open Meetings Act. This working group is not in violation. They can talk about the stuff. But here's the thing. Every one of us is sitting on this city council has the same authority to put together an ordinance and bring it to this city council. If Alderman Williams wants to bring something that pertains to something he's got a problem with, he can bring it in the form of an ordinance, and we can all say, okay, we're going to be talking about it because it's going to be on the floor. The bottom line is we don't have to have all these committees, or we don't have to have working groups to do this stuff. I praise the folks that are on this committee to throw the ideas around and to come up with some reasonable solutions. But we don't need that. You have the authority. Bring your recommendation, bring your idea to Corporation Counsel. He'll draft an ordinance, and it'll be for discussion at the Committee of the Whole. That's as simple as that. That's it. Yep. And that's what you get for 30 years on the City Council.
Any other unfinished business to come before the council?
No, ma'am. Mayor.
Okay, so before, unfinished business? Sorry,
Yes,
Alderman
I'm
Gregory.
sorry. Now, this is a different topic. I could speak. I ain't gonna go there. We'll talk about that another time. But so, Mayor, we have and I wish Deputy Chief Stunkel was here so we could have a brief discussion. But our violence prevention.
Can I get in your brain? You're going to ask about grants.
Please.
Right, grants?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Is that right?
Yes.
I know that the new grant administrator was assigned to the grant that you're in question of, and I think they're waiting for some final docs to get signed so that they can start dispersing the money.
So here's my small little
Is that
problem.
correct?
Yeah, I had emails on this today.
Okay. So let me ask you, Corporation Counsel, so is this going to be a reimbursement grant, or are we planning on issuing out a certain amount? How is it going to work? Because I think that is the some of the concern right now.
Put me on the spot. I'm not
sorry.
sure. That is a better question for Deputy Chief Stunkel, but I can get an answer for you rather quickly.
Okay.
Assistant Chief Mumaw is here, so he can tell
What?
Deputy Chief Stunkel that you want an answer, and we can have Deputy Chief Stunkel follow up with you.
We've
too.
had a little discussion, and it appears that it is a reimbursement grant. So what I'll ask my council members to do is and Mayor, is can we look at this grant and see how we can work with these groups? Especially the two that may not have, I can't tell anybody's finances, but may not have the funding to get going. Some type of assistance to do that, or some type of initial percentage that they can do. And I think that's much of the hold up for them, and everything's been approved and all that good stuff. But move on.
Yeah, we got several of these grants going right now. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Which one is it?
It's our the Community Connections grant. It's the $645,000 to the 1 Million Inc. and Better Life, Better Living,
Yeah.
and the Park
I
District.
believe that's a reimbursement grant. I can get some clarification from you tomorrow from Stunkel. No questions asked, but we do have several of these going now, and I'll be honest, the bar slides on these all the time. I mean, we're getting new parameters from time to time on these, so trying to keep up with these and track them. I believe we have a new grant coordinator or a grant administrator now that is helping us with that. So it's been a mess. I'll be honest with you. There's so many of them out there, and it's great for us as a community, right? Because we got all this money coming in, but it's a matter of focusing on the parameters of those and making sure that we're spending the money the way that we're supposed to be. But I can get you an answer.
Absolutely, I appreciate you.
Yep.
And for my mayor, I would have called you and asked these questions.
okay. Don't worry
But
about
I really try to let the process work as it should be. And then when these things come across and these questions are asked, I know you're very busy and I don't like to call. And I just wanted to definitely just ask the administration to look at it and see what we can do to help.
Well, we
Please.
probably have to
Thank
work
you.
through the state because it's not our money, it's the state's money. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, AC Mama.
Good job, Moo.
All right, so we're going to go to new business, and I'm going to have two things here before any of you have new business. First is, on Thursday, June 6th, is the Law Enforcement Torch Run. You will have law enforcement professionals from Springfield Police Department plus our surrounding communities starting at the Illinois State Capitol, and they're going to run past these two buildings. And I've encouraged all the staff members in both of the buildings to stand out in the street and praise and clap, and hopefully we'll have some American flags. I've ordered some to give out to the people. So if any of you want to join us to congratulate our police officers as they run through the law enforcement
What's the
torch
time
run,
on it,
it's at 8 a.m. and it's a fundraiser that they do for the Special Olympics. Do you want to speak on that at all, AC Muma? So I just want to invite everyone in the public out as well to cheer on those people raising money for Special Olympics.
Yeah, so our department has worked on this project with the Special Olympics for as long as I can remember. It's a run that goes through all out the state. It's actually a torch that's handed off. I think we pick it up from Sangamon County in the downtown area, and then our group actually picks it up, comes down Capitol all the way down 9th Street, down through Peoria Road, past the Freedom Station, and we actually end up going all the way to the Sherman, up to where the
Sherman exit.
Yeah, the Sherman exit there, and then we're usually picked up by another group there who then takes the torch and moves it from there. But it's a big fundraiser for us. We've done it for years, for as long as I can remember. It's the footprint of it basically is our SWAT team kind of leads that, and anybody's welcome. I mean, we got to come out and watch, and we encourage all of our men and women to jump in. Not just running; they can walk and bike as well. It's just a matter of participation. Yeah. So it's just a matter of the participation and getting everybody involved in it.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
AC Mama. And then my other item for new businesses, if you would all like to say an early happy birthday to Director Fuchs for tomorrow. Happy birthday tomorrow, David Fuchs. And Alderwoman Notriano.
Thank you, Mayor. My new business is to remind everybody that this Thursday in the evening is the second week of Levitt Amp, and this is the brass band week. They'll have a local opener, Tulo and Eads, and then Empire Strikes Brass is going to be the band. It's a free concert. Come out, hang out, and I'll see you there.
Can I piggyback on that, Mayor? If you
Yes.
may? And I'm sorry, y'all. I am this whole clicking the button thing and all that. I don't know. I like the old ways where we're able to use our Robert Rules of Order and sort of interject how we are. But you know, Levitt has come a long, long way, and I appreciate you guys constantly making sure that that's out there and stuff. I remember it on a little bitty stage in the middle, you know, and it's come so far, and just to see it 1,500 people out there of all walks of life, and you know, everybody enjoying themselves, and it's a special thing that we have in the center of our city. And it's really, really, really growing. So I appreciate everybody, you know, showing it love and things, because you know, that group, that Levitt AMP group, they've been working it, you know, for the past 5 years, you know, to really try to continue that. You know, that's not a guaranteed thing. They got to select our city to do that, and we're in our second selection of it, and hopefully they like what, you know, how we're amplifying that here in the city. And I thank the mayor for sponsoring the first night, and Alderwoman No Toronto, you coming up here soon, and I think all of us took a turn at really sponsoring nights out there, and they need all the help they can get. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Alderman Donlin.
Mayor, I apologize. This is old business, actually old nasty business, and I'm not being funny. Corporation Counsel, what is the status of the potential appeal for Old Town Apartments? I know we got a demo order from a judge at Circuit Court, and we were awaiting to see if the, I'll call them owners, and be polite about it, but what the status is.
So they filed an appeal, and I'm going to bore you with a little bit of legalese here, but there was no court reporter, so we have to file what's called a standby report, which is essentially we agree to what happened in court, so the appellate court can look at the record and know what was said in court by the respective parties, because there's not a verbatim transcript. So we received their copy of the bystanders report. We had some additions to it. We sent that back. We're agreeing to that. That'll go up to the appellate court. Once that's accepted, then we're in the standard timeline for filing briefs, which is 35 days, 14 days. So we're still months away from arguing in a decision.
And if we were to be successful at the appellate court level, then we would be allowed to demo the buildings immediately, or per our process of obviously putting out for bid appropriately, but we'd be able to demo a number of those buildings per the order, correct?
That's right. We've actually been granted the authority to do asbestos testing and, if required, abatement as the appeal is moving through the courts. So we will be ahead of the game when that order comes down.
It can't happen soon enough, needless to say. And Mayor, I thank you and the entire team that's been involved with this. I feel for the neighbors, because it's not moving fast enough. We all know that. We wish it could move faster, but when you have the circuit court involved and now the appellate court involved, we have to adhere to those schedules. But Director Fuchs and the police department have assured me that they will come through on a regular basis and make sure that nobody's in there, and make sure that it's cleaned up regularly. Unfortunately, people still get in there, and the department's checking to make sure that, meaning the police department, those efforts. But if any of the residents out there, you know, they see something, you know, we can't always be watching. If they see something, please notify the city ASAP, and we'll get people out there to address it. It's just I know you guys probably get tired of me talking about it, but it is a headache of all headaches, and we need it turned around quickly. So thank you.
And I do see reports, and police and public works are out there monitoring. Any other new business? Okay, seeing none. Citizens signed up to address the council in advance. James Johnson.
Hi, James.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. James Johnson. And I got a lot of topics I'm going to hit real fast. And I want to start, Mayor. I'm part of Ward 2, where all the street parties and everything else go on. So, Mayor, a couple things. Last time you were sitting in that seat, you made a comment about you were scared. And I don't know if you were playing or if you were serious about your street parties. And I'm going to say that we don't need you to be scared. You're the leader of our community. I need you to be strong, not announce that you're scared from that seat, because all that's still going to do is cause panic and fear. And our news stations do enough of that, so we don't want to add to that. So if you can just you know, not use that word scared, I would appreciate that. And I'm glad Alderwoman Purchase brought up what I was going to talk about, and that was the street parties, and you guys unanimously passed an ordinance for like 10,000 for fines. And so I just want to ask, what happens when they don't pay? Because we have people who park in handicap. We have people who speed. We have people who run stop signs. We have people who talk on their phones through school zones, working zones, and it's still going on. So what makes you think that this 10,000 is going to stop these parties? And by her comment earlier, parties haven't stopped. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. It's going to get bigger. We just got to be prepared for it. Thanks to the police department. What they do, it's going to be tough. But I'm just saying, I come here and I'm always speaking on, I don't come here to speak for myself. I come here to speak for everybody else, other people. I'm not here for me a lot. 90% of the time I'm up here voicing, I'm doing God's work and being about God's business. So, and Mr. Redpath been around here long enough, a long time, and I know he probably tired of me coming up here, but I'm gonna keep coming because I gotta keep talking about some stuff. Now, I'm gonna move on to CWLP because I'm not gonna let that go away. And since it was a topic tonight, I'm gonna say, with these groups or these talking groups, I wanna know who's the CWLP group. And for all of you groups and all you new aldermen, like, you guys really need to know the history of Springfield, know what had happened years ago. Because if you don't know where we've been, you have no idea where to go. So it would be good if somebody said it. You gotta know what's on the books and you gotta know the history. CWLP got some long history. You guys need to sit down and really dig and get into it. So whatever talking group that is, let's do it. Let's talk. Let's get into it. Because I'm going to come back next week with Mr. Redpath, and we're going to have a Q&A about CWLP because he's been around here the longest, and I know he, probably tired of me bringing up certain stuff, but I'm going to keep bringing up. And that whole capping in place, we don't want capping in place. We want it removed. It's still going to leak. So that's where I would like it to go. We can't worry about the money because the CWP ain't never worried about the money. They've done studies and studies and studies. How about you drop a note and let us know how many studies have CWLP done and how much money we have spent on CWLP studies. Now, I'm going to say this in my last 22 seconds. Since you've been around here the longest and you remember the dial-up telephones, see, that's like that power plant. It's the dial-up telephone, and we moved on from it. Now we have cell phones. So you got to move on. We got to move on from that plant. You remember the phone booth? I know you remember the phone booth. You've been around. We got to move on just like the phone booth. We use our cell phones now.
Thank you. The next citizen signed up to speak is Alice Ramey.
What you got for us, Alice?
I invented the phone booth.
You probably did. My name is Alice Ramey, and I live in Ward 3. Sometimes I think Roy wish I didn't live in Ward 3, but I do. I've been the longest one there in Ward 3, besides other people. It took, when you talk about the nuisance law, I brought it up when we had that house on Poplar. Do you know that, I don't know if he called the zone manager or not, but somebody did. That was 5 weeks after I made my first complaint. So you see, if you don't work on these things every day, you don't know what to do. That's the third house I had taken care of in that neighborhood in the years that I've been there, okay? It takes a long time, and people do not understand the nuisance law. You have to have 3 to 5 complaints, hard complaints, or 3 if you want to go free, but it's usually 5 by the time they get to it. We need to have people that are going to be on these far-out committees, and whatever you want to call them, know what the laws are, what they have do, what they can't do, okay? And know, it's like they're all secret organizations. And that's not fair to you on this circle not to know. And we all joke about Mr. Redpath being here. I've been here 28 years, about as long as he has. I sat back there. So you see, it's not simple to sit up here and listen to you tell us that we can't do this or we have to wait for this, okay? That's not fair. And I know that some seniors in some of these neighborhoods do not have people to help cut their grass. I have seen a senior in my yard, in our neighborhood, get out with scissors because she couldn't find nobody to cut her grass. So this is something you all have to listen to. We're not out here, okay? I grew up in this town in the North End. In fact, the fairgrounds was my playground. But see, people don't understand that. Redpath understands it. His father understood it, okay? And even some of the old-time police officers understood it, and the firemen. And now you don't want to have ambulance with the fire department. But you want them to wait 5 minutes before they get to the place where they're at. No, that's not acceptable. And we're supposed to be the best city in Springfield? In the state of Illinois? I don't think so. We got AAA for everything, but they do not have an ambulance with the fire department. I'd rather have an ambulance and a fire one hit my house at the same time and not 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later and have an excuse that they got stopped by a train. That's not right. Or somebody had a wreck. That's not right either. And y'all guys start thinking about what is the best thing for our fire department. You got all these new buildings coming up in a place where they have a hard time getting there. The ambulance get there. Wouldn't it be wise to have one there at the police station, at the fire department, and have it come out the same time? No, people don't think like that. You're going to have to, because 1 minute to 2 minutes, that's all some of the stroke people have, heart attack people have, and that's it. They don't even have that. If you don't get to them within a minute, you're out of luck. So thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure to have you up there, and stay up there. And Redpath, what area are you going to move into next time?
Nowhere.
Moving to Ward 10.
Next person signed up to speak is Jack and Mr., I think it's Picciola? I want to know if I'm saying it right.
It's Passiola.
Passiola, I apologize to you.
No worries. I'm good.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next person signed up to speak, and I'll make sure I have it right for the next time, is Phil Markison.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Phil Markison. Live at 1806 1806 Stanford Avenue. That whole road project, nothing has been done in the last 2 weeks at all. I don't know how we can proceed to get on to the good foot and get this done, or do we need every resident to come down here and voice their opinions about how long it's taking? Because you have dust control that's not getting done. People drive through there because they know it's a thoroughfare now. After 2 years, you're going to drive through a construction zone. You say you're going to put driveway approaches in. Do you have anywhere for people to park when they start to put these approaches in? What is your plan for this Stanford Avenue, and what is your plan for a finish date to it? Some suggestions from somebody.
Mayor,
Public Works Director
Yeah.
is in the corner if you want to go talk to him, sir.
I did,
All right.
You can speak to him if you would
I
like
mean,
about this.
By all means. I mean, I don't understand
He's not going to
what's
come up
taking
to
so
the
long.
podium. This is your 5 minutes, sir. You
Yeah,
can speak to him back
I
if
don't
you'd like.
understand what's taking the amount of time that it's taking for this. I hear they ran into a 36-inch water main. Well, I knew it was there, and I'm not Public Works. I mean, come on now. If you can't observe it through a chip and tar road, but you can go out here and cut a hole in Adams Street through concrete and blacktop to observe something. What, does the chips gum up the saw? What's the problem? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. The next person signed up to speak in advance is Brian Fuller. Mr. Fuller?
My name is Brian Fuller. I live at 1707 South 14th Street. I'm here to talk about the pop-up parties. There's one in my area 2 weeks ago. I got woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then go back to bed at 8 o'clock that night. I called the police. Nothing was done. I called the alderman. Nothing was done. I called the commission of whatever it is in the St. County Jail. He told me what to do. Now, they put a police light out in front of the house that was disturbing me. That was there for a week. And it came back, and they took it down last Friday. And here we go again, last night and Sunday night, a party raised again. I don't know what is going on with these pop-up parties. There was no citation taken, nothing written, and I want to know why. No tickets was given out, none. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience who did not sign up early to speak but would like to speak to the council for 5 minutes? Yes, ma'am, you may come up. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Lisa Johnson, and I'm an Associate Professor of Sociology at the University of Illinois in Springfield. I live in Ward 6. I work in Ward 2. I would like, do you need my address? 1908. I have a famous address, 1908 South
famous.
1st Street. I first want to deliver a very hearty thank you. I organized a State of Black Springfield all-day conference at the university as a means of reaching out to Black community members because we recognized that the university had not done a great job of establishing community with Black citizens. I thank so much Alderwoman Lakeisha Purchase, Alderman Roy Williams, Alderman Sean Gregory. All three of them showed up, participated, and engaged very seriously with our citizens. I thank you so much. I apologize for the tardy thank you, but people are still talking about that and about the way that they appreciated you so much for not just showing up and being on the panel or showing up for a specific amount of time. You showed up, you engaged, you had fun, you brought your daughter, you had your DST there, your sorority sisters there. Like, that was community. And from what I hear, I am new, but from what I hear, Black people needed to see that. And they needed to see it on that university campus all the way down 11th Street. So thank you so very, very much. To the others, you were not uninvited. You could have shown up if you wanted to. We did not give special invitations to white people just because it was the state of Black Springfield. But if, and I doubt it, but if it ever happens again, please let me extend a hearty invitation to all of you to come. This was not an exclusive event. It was just centered on Blackness. And any white person who came, we let them know white people are here to listen, Black people are here to speak. And so that is the only prerequisite that we left with. So thank you. The second thing I am here to say is that for the next 3 summers, the State of Black Springfield was the launching pad for a 3-year research study that will look at the 1908 race riot, historical redlining, residential segregation, and what the effects, the intergenerational effects of those racial incidences are on the city of Springfield and specifically on the east side. To that effect, I am now working at the Community Healing Resource Center at 1616 South 16th Street in Ward 2. Thank you again to Alderman Gregory for answering my emails, answering my phone calls. We have had concerns about lawns around there, about abandoned houses, and he has answered all of the questions. We do intend to have a street party on June 30th. And this is adjacent to the St. Paul AME Church. That's on a Sunday after church from 1 until 5. We own, or the church owns, about 4 lots in that area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots in that area. So we will have that party. However, I will also be filing to have streets blocked off, and we will invite police and firemen. Now, there is a group that has street parties sort of adjacent to that. So we would like some assistance in making sure, Mr. Gregory, that this block party doesn't turn into a street party, because we would like for everyone to be safe. With that, thank you all.
Can I just say one thing, Mayor?
Alderman Gregory, sorry.
And I, thank you. I appreciate your comments, and I'm sure my colleagues do as well. We enjoyed ourselves. Harlem always enjoys herself in this world that we often are in together. And I want to say to the block parties or the complaints that I receive, I always forward them to all the departments. If I could come and break it up myself, I'm not Bass Reeves or nobody like that. I can't, do it. I have to work within our law enforcement. That's the proper source. We've passed some ordinance trying to deal with it. We're trying to work from it, and I'm not only speaking to you, but also my brother in the audience. We're trying to work on it from a community standpoint. But I'm telling you, the first person you want to call is the police. Then you call me. Don't call me first. Cause I can't stop it. I can't go over there and do nothing about it. I can't tow no cars, nothing. So I'm just, that is just, I just want that understanding to be clear.
Yes.
And then if you feel like something is not being done about it, please give me a call. But I will say that, the actions that we took was from me receiving the call, and you guys the citizens are our bosses, and anybody who works, when the boss gets to chomping at the servant, the worker, then everything rolls downhill. So I can assure you, as you guys chomp at me, that I have my discussions, and because I don't like the calls, I don't like to feel like somebody's being ignored and stuff. So I that is my commitment to my community, and anybody in this city, I always respond. So and do the best thing I can, but I can't go do it myself.
No, we won't call you for that part. We will already have the police there. So we just wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Mayor. To piggyback off of what Alderman Gregory said to this gentleman, like I said, I was there to be able to witness what I saw. So I think that you will see some improvements because I witnessed them writing tickets and walking down the street. So I know sometimes it's hard and it takes patience, but we also talking about our officers going into a crowd of hundreds and hundreds of people too. So just, it's hard to ask to give it some time, but I'm pretty sure you'll see some improvements. And as soon as they left there and it went to 13th and Edwards, they went straight down there. So it's only so much we can do, and that was 14 officers that night.
Thank you, Alderwoman Purchase. Is there anyone else in the audience who has not signed up to speak that would like to speak? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C11, litigation, and 5 ILCS 120-2C23, operation of a municipal utility. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. We're going into executive session. All right, let's do it.
Hey, Hollywood's you look, they got two cameras, one for both of you.
Who's Hollywood?
Depends on the day.
Which person is Hollywood, dare I ask?
Both are.
I'm gonna wait till the clerk gets out here.
I'm not staying, I'll just stand here until it's adjourned. I'm not gonna have
I can tell that the state's adjourned. We have a special.
No, you can leave.
You're fine.
Leave it there. Donald's happy that it's there.
Oh, funny.
Thank you for getting that done so quickly.
Oh, we're set for Craig Colbert. Okay, now that I see, here comes Alderman Gregory. We're all here, I think. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mayor.
Oh, sorry, we have to reconvene our regular session.
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First, second. Discussion. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Do you need an extra mic? Everybody's tired, he says. Text. Oh, email, okay, gotcha. Yep. No problem. See ya. It's not very long for you to enjoy yourself. You got that okay, clerk? I was waiting for you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Gotcha.
Appreciate you.